live.
We
Crown
are
Council
live. We're here.
Crown Council live. What's up? Stuart Anderson here. Greg Anderson is with me.
Knock up on me.
He is just in the other room. We're in the Salt Lake City office today. No Steve today. He is preparing for the new hygiene course that they're teaching down in Dallas-Fort Worth. We are 2 weeks away from having the annual event in Austin. Grateful to be back and thankful for the launch of Smiles for Life Whitening 2024. Greg, how are you?
I'm great. I mean, we took that one day off.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. It is always invigorating to go to the annual event.
It is.
It's a lot of work, but it is so fun to see the faces, hug the people. People ask what the Crown Council is. Man, it is a community of really great people.
It really is. And more than that, everybody in the Crown Council who went to the annual event came home expressing a great desire. They're inspired to do more, to act better, it is shouldn't be surprising to us every year to come home from the annual event and feel that way. So last week, if you missed the live stream, we did a whole 45-minute recap of everything that happened. And one of those things that happened we want to talk about today, at least I hope she's going to be our first guest. I hope Becky McIntyre is going to be joining us to talk about how their team earns a seat at the Crown Council annual event. We've got a few documents. She mentioned this at the annual event while we were there. So hopefully this will be a good program.
She has created quite a stir.
She has created a stir. So very good. Before we do that, I want to make a right here. You know, we have not spent a lot of time because we've been focused on the annual event talking about the 2024 Smiles for Life Whitening campaign, which is launched, which offices are already preparing for. We have shipped all of the boxes out to all the Crown Council offices who are participating. Here's our pink box for the year.
Is there anything in it?
Yeah, so 450 boxes have already been shipped. If you don't know, Smiles for Life Whitening is the annual charitable campaign of the Crown Council. Our members created the Smiles for Life Whitening campaign almost 30 years ago with the idea of doing good together. And it is our hope that every Crown Council practice participates. If you're not participating, you are certainly on the outside of what the rest of the Crown Council community is doing as they prepare for and try to do good together in their community. I've got some buttons here, Gregor. But a lot of fun marketing materials are shipped out at the beginning of each year. This year, obviously, they're pink. Everything from pass along cards, buttons. I've got a t-shirt in here, Smiles for Life, social media. Social media cards that you can give to patients so they can take pictures after they get their smiles whitened. But this is such an awesome opportunity for you to plug yourself into a turnkey charitable program where all of the thought has almost been removed. Marketing, the whitening products are donated by Ultradent. You just have to put into place how you want to participate as a team. A local charity, some marketing materials in your own community, and how you want to connect with your own patients for whitening. But it is our plea, you know, we're always trying to come up with gimmicks to help you make Smiles for Life Whitening more successful. But in the end, we are more successful when more people participate in doing Smiles for Life. And if you haven't signed up, we need or want you to sign up today. Gregor, what do you want to say about Smiles for Life? What would you say to a team who has not yet signed up to participate?
I would like to say that there is the greatest value of Smiles for Life comes in a team coming together and doing good together. That has to be the major motivating force. Now, with that said, let me add a couple of things. Do you go on humanitarian trips, or would you like to? And are you looking for a way to fund it? You can declare the Smiles for Life Humanitarian Fund as your local charity and use those funds to go on a humanitarian trip with your team. Second thing is the Smiles for Life whitening program is a prolific generator of new patients. we are generating more than 10,000 whitening patients a year through the Smiles for Life campaign. And so while you are doing good, if you have the mechanism in place to turn a patient that comes to your practice into a patient that wants to come back, this is an amazing way to do it. I mean, we have a national press release that is ready to go out the 29th of February. We're telling the world that we have now raised over $50 million together, and that this is one of dentistry's finest, if not the finest, children's charity in North America. So
I agree.
very
Very good.
excited. But those are
You-
two reasons that may not be upfront.
You are looking at the homepage of crowncouncil.com. If you are not signed up, click on Doing Good. This is the place where your office is going to connect with us. Click on 4 practices. And this is an easy way to learn more and then sign up. Fill this out. We'll connect you and get you signed up. We still have time to get your office trained and ready for the Smiles for Life whitening campaign. There's also the opportunity to participate in the Smiles for Life clear aligner campaign and many other ways to donate and do good together. But if you are not doing good together as a team, this is an awesome opportunity to start something this year to be part of something big. So that's
You know,
it.
one of the other things, Stu, is that my experience is that dentists in general are very generous, and they get asked by a lot of people to contribute money to causes. And this is one way to create a campaign in the office that allows you to raise the money with your patient's help and contribute it without taking it out of pocket.
I
So a
agree.
lot of great reasons to do it.
All right, Gregor, we have Becky McIntyre in the waiting room. I don't want to keep her there. I don't want to keep her there too long, so I'll have DJ bring her in. She's been sitting there a couple minutes, but let's. I'm going to wait for her to come in before we start our segment here. But Becky had. She doesn't know this. I mean, maybe she does, but there was a. Hey, Becky.
Hi there.
Hey,
So glad you're with us. It's fun to come home from the annual event, and we were just talking about how enthusiastic and all the new ideas and goals that Crown Council members have. Well, one of them, the hottest topics here is you. You
Oh my
came home. You came home from the annual event as a real hot topic. We have had so much buzz and stir in the office about your idea about the
you
annual.
really created some buzz.
But
Well, that's a first in my life then.
before we do it, Becky, could you tell us a little bit about your practice, where you work, and what your day-to-day is like with what you do?
Sure. So I have been around dentistry for about 42 years. My husband is Dr. Joe McIntyre, and he's just finishing his 42nd year in practice. We were married prior to dental school, so I always say I went to dental school too, because I was there the whole 4 years. We moved to Bridgewater, Virginia, which is a little town of about 6,000 people just outside of Harrisonburg, which is home of James Madison University. That's kind of our claim to fame. And about, 8 years ago, really got into implant dentistry. And so we have a very strong implant practice, but it's also a general practice. Our son-in-law, Dr. Daniel Whiting, he is our partner, and we have 2 amazing associates. We have 2 offices and a team of about 24 that we just think are tops, thanks to tops. And have really enjoyed implementing the culture of success ideas that we've learned from Crown Council.
Very good. Becky, when you look at your practice and how the team works, could you give a couple ideas to the rest of the Crown Council of what you think separates you as a great dental practice in providing service for your patients?
Sure. So one of the things, Tanya is our practice coach from TOPS, and one of the things that we worked on early on was putting together our purpose, or some people call it a mission statement. And so ours is to make life better for our team and for our patients by providing quality dentistry and caring relationships. And we can bring everything back to that purpose. And so as we have worked, one thing that we have come to the realization is that the culture is top priority with not only with our team but with our patients. And so we've come to the conclusion that having mediocre or team members that do not adhere to the culture that we are trying to create are not part of our practice anymore.
Hmm.
And that's been kind of hard because I don't like terminating employment, but if you really make that a priority and that because all of us read it and sign it and walk, we've got to walk the talk.
Nice.
It has really made a difference in having a team that's cohesive, that's purposeful, that looks out for each other, that does great things for our patients. And then I have total confidence in the quality of dentistry that our doctors are doing. They're very into continuing ed and making sure they're up on techniques and materials and those types of things. But what I know is that the patient doesn't really know to a degree the quality of dentistry, but they do know what kind of experience they have when they're in our office. And when people leave and hug you and say, I love coming here, that's what we're after.
I love that. I love that you created that document together and then everyone has to sign it. That is, and it sounded like you had the mission memorized that
I
you,
do.
is that, you guys,
Yeah, you live it.
that's great. And when it comes to, so we just got back from the annual event, so it's a big part of our culture here. We loved the idea of creating an opportunity for all team members to be a part of it. Can you tell those that are listening that don't know what the annual event is, why you go, and why it's part of what you do?
Well, one of my big regrets in life is that we didn't discover Crown Council until 6 years ago. I'm going like, oh man, we could have been so much further along. Um, we actually learned about Crown Council through our association with TOPS. We went to the No More Hygiene class and was just blown away. I'm a hygienist, and so I just fell in love with the whole concepts and everything we were taught there. And so from there, learned about the annual event. So our first one was in Las Vegas. And so just my husband and I and our assistant office manager came. And it was the most amazing experience. And we left going like, we have never been to a meeting with such high quality, exceptional doctors and teams as what we experienced there. And everything about it was just over the top. We were just wowed totally. And so from there, we started saying, well, we want our team to experience the same thing that we have. We came back and, of course, tried to teach it, but it's never quite the same as you actually are there and actually get to experience it. And so from there is how the document we're going to talk about, earning your seat to Crown Council, was born.
Very cool. All right, I'm going to show the document. Is that a good way to kind of transition into this?
Yeah. Maybe I'll give a little bit of background while you're doing that.
Okay.
Over our career, like I said, we're in our 42nd year now. And I think we've done everything wrong you can do wrong. So
How we learn, isn't it?
it is. And so one of my husband's dreams, was to take his whole team to continuing education because he just is like a sponge. He soaks it up. He looks for it. He thrives on it. He loves it. It's what, makes the next day or the next phase, exciting and fun. And so we're on the East Coast. And so one of the big meetings on the East Coast is in Atlanta, the Hinman meeting. And it's a neat meeting. I've been to it many times. And so 2 or 3 times we tried taking our entire team to the Hinman meeting. And what we found was that over half of them didn't want to be there. They were skipping out on classes. They weren't taking notes. They weren't coming back prepared to share. And he was just so frustrated and so disappointed because he thought this was such a wow, wonderful thing to do for his team members. And then, he just was like, why did we waste the money? And so as we talked about, inviting team members to Crown Council, we wanted to make sure that those that came really wanted to be there. And what we know from our children, we have 6 children, is that when you earn something yourself, you appreciate it more. It becomes something that's of value to you. And so as we were also becoming initiated with the culture of success, I sat down one evening and I thought, how can we combine the culture of success bullet points with a way to earn your seat to Crown Council? And so we put together this document, and I thought maybe I'd give you a few examples of each of the bullet
Okay.
points, just so you can get an idea of what types of things have come about because of it. So the first one is, there's 10 items on the document, and they have to complete 5 of them, and it has to be actually turned in order to earn their seat. And they have to do this by November 1st in order to plan, how many are coming. So the first one was receive 5 raving fan written reviews from patients that you have wowed. And we're picky about, these reviews. It can't just say, Tony did a good job. So here's a raving review that she just got. Tony was fantastic, very knowledgeable technically and very friendly. Importantly, Tony and Dr. Whiting made for a very tight team. Tony would often know what Dr. Whiting would need without even being asked. Great team. Looking forward to working with Tony again. So that's a raving review. So getting 5 of those to turn in would complete that particular one.
Nice. Okay, great.
The next one was to develop and carrying out an idea that will improve your post, a system, or implement a new idea that will further promote our mission statement, which I just shared with you. So here's a couple of ideas of things that have been turned in. We have a CBCT scanner, and on occasion, it just doesn't connect to, it has its own computer, but then that computer has to connect to the network within the office. And every once in a while, it just decides to not connect. And so one of our assistants spent several hours on the phone with VATech, troubleshooting, figuring out why it wasn't working, and she learned what to do to correct it. She then wrote it up, distributed it to different doctors, put it in the protocol manual, and also posted it right next to the CBCT scanner. So now if that happens again, we can fix it ourselves. So we don't have to call our IT guy. We don't have to call VATech. We can take care of it. So that's an idea of it. One that I'm working on right now is implementing medical billing into our office for these implant surgery cases. And so putting together that whole protocol and flow so that it goes smoothly and we have another way of helping our patients out. The next one was to learn and grow. So pick a topic that would benefit our team and read a book or attend a training and then teach and train during our
Nice.
staff meetings. So one of our team members has read the book. It's called 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dan Sullivan. And so next Tuesday, she's going to be presenting and training on that particular book. But we've had other training. If they've gone to a CE class or something, they train on it. The next one is volunteer for 12 hours at a nonprofit or a cause you deem to be worthwhile. And so we've had team members serve meals at the homeless shelter. They volunteer at their church. They're coaching their kids, softball or basketball team or whatever it is that they want to be involved with. We've also had team members go to our dental clinic in Haiti and volunteer there with us, and that's counted towards their volunteer hours. The next one is solve a problem, evaluate your post, and identify an area that causes DevT, that's developed traffic. In other words, it's creating more work because it doesn't have a smooth flow. And bring your ideas for solutions to the exec group. So we've had an issue of getting our patients seated right on time first thing in the morning and right on time right after lunch. There's no excuse for those to ever be late. And so we do a morning opportunity meeting, and we also launder all of our scrubs here in the office. And so what's been happening is that the assistants come to their morning opportunity meeting in street clothes and then change after the morning opportunity meeting, and they have a tendency to chit chat for a few minutes and we end up seating our patients, up to 5 minutes late. And so one of our team members said, what if, we expect them to come to the morning opportunity meeting prepared with their chart notes, their chart prep and everything. So being ready for the morning opportunity meeting means you're already changed into your scrubs, you're ready to work. And so that will give them no excuse to not seat their patient on time. So that has solved that problem. Let's see, the next one is acknowledge and recognize your teammates. And we've had lots of fun with this. We've done the I appreciate notes. People have put goodies in our mailboxes. One of our team members right now has put up a goal board, and everyone has put up their goals for the next year so that we can support and help each other. And then with Valentine's Day coming up, we've picked secret Valentines to share, treats with and so forth. And then one I was going to share with you because I thought this was really fun. So I'm going to show you this. This is a muffin, okay? You see, it's a nice big muffin. Every morning we bake muffins for our patients as a treat and thank you for coming. And on our muffin, we usually staple a Care to Share card. And so for next week, for the week of Valentine's, we're going to staple Valentine's on here for our patients. So when they get their muffin, they have a special little treat. So that was kind of a fun thing that they came up with.
What is a Care to Share card?
Oh, so it's just a card that if they give it to somebody else, if we know word of mouth referrals are the best. So you give this card to your neighbor, for whoever, and they bring it in, then the new patient gets $25 credit on their account, and the referring person gets a $25. Oh, and that's a whole different thing that we do.
Awesome.
That's another day's conversation. We do a smile reward that we get to really focus on local small businesses, but that's another conversation. Of course, being a willing wit, whatever it takes. And so share 5 examples of where you are willing to do whatever it takes to make things happen. And these are things that, obviously happen throughout the day, every day, but they collect those and write them down and turn those in. Be a contributor. So at least twice a month at our team meetings, be involved and participate. Speak up and give your opinion, make suggestions, keep track of your participation, and then turn that in. And that has really encouraged some of our quieter people to get involved in the conversations and to speak up. I love number 9, come up with ways to make work more fun. You bring your idea to our exec group for approval and then carry it out. And so we have one hygienist that loves to hike. So she organized a hike for the team and led that. We had another one that decided that it would be fun to do s'mores. So they brought their fire pit in the parking lot and we all went inside and made s'mores.
Nice.
We have decorated our windows for Christmas and Thanksgiving. We decorated Christmas stockings to deliver to the homeless shelter also with tie-dye t-shirts. And anyway, they've come up with all sorts of fun things to do to really unify. And then the last one is just come up with your own idea and submit it to Tara for approval. She's our office lead, and that can be whatever it is you want to submit. And so that's where you kind of get to become creative and come up with your own idea. So when they finish 5 of these, they can turn it in, and we kind of do a little ceremony, with a little plane ticket, and, the ticket to their seat. And you guys usually send us something to, give to those that have signed up and so forth. And anyway, try to make it, that this is kind of special. And we have also the past few years, kind of budget wise, just because we have a big plane ticket to buy, limit it to 12 people. And so there's a little bit of competition. The first 12 that finish are the ones that get to come.
I actually was going to ask that question, which was why wouldn't everybody do this? But
well, they don't all do it, which is interesting. We have people on our team that have never traveled outside of 30 miles from their home, and getting on a plane is scary, and
sure.
And yet they're amazing workers.
I mean, at your weekly trainings or your monthly team meetings, do you track this? I mean, do you say Susie's got 2 out of 5, and like here's a scoreboard, and so they know how many have turned?
We really should. That would probably increase the competition a little bit more. But
Becky, I have one quick question. How does the team receive this? If a doctor is thinking about implementing this, were there any challenges that you could now help somebody anticipate when you launch this idea?
So obviously the best thing is that, you've had a group, whether it's just the doctors and hygienists, but you've had the first year 3 of us went, and we came back just raving about it, And so it's word of mouth, and so you're talking it up, what an amazing meeting it was, the great speakers we've used. Fortunately, all the speakers seem to have things on YouTube, so we've used that in future trainings. We've got the first Friday in March set aside to train our team that didn't come on that. So we're going to be using Amy Purdy's I love her two-step video that's going to be shown, and so you've got to be excited yourself about it. Um, with the first year, we probably had about 5 that came, and then they came back and raved about it, and then the next year it grew, and so you probably aren't gonna get everyone the first year, but each time when they come back, those that went are so excited, and then train with what you did learn. Use the resources. You guys post a lot of things in the Crown Council, educational part from annual event. There's, like I said, there's a lot on YouTube. Just about all the speakers have a TED Talk on there, so
Yeah.
show what quality. And then, of course, we were in it when the 2020 year, I guess it was actually 2021, when Crown Council was on Zoom,
Yeah.
So with that one, our whole team watched it, and there were some amazing speakers that year, and it was just fun, and we made a big to-do out of that day, and
Fun.
that prepped us for the next year very easily. So,
Very cool.
but
Well, Becky, if it's lost on anyone, this is one of my most favorite things about Crown Council is this is a great idea and you're willing to share it with everybody else. So thank you for being willing and sharing. I hope we actually have one other office that's implemented something similar that we'll maybe talk to next week. But what a fun thing to hear about. And I agree with you 100%. When you earn it, it makes it so much more special. So great idea.
Good
happy
job,
to share, and
Becky.
you can customize it, obviously, but that will give you a starting point.
Cool. Thank you, Becky. I know that there's a lot of people that aren't joining us live, so this is recorded and we'll put it on the Crown Council website for everybody to watch. So
Very
thank
good.
you.
And you're
Okay.
welcome to share the document too.
Okay, we will. Thanks, Becky.
All right,
Thanks,
you guys
Becky.
take care.
Mhm,
All right,
bye.
Okay,
bye-bye.
bye-bye. That is how it's done.
Yep. What a good woman. That is.
I love that it's the first 12. I love that you can't procrastinate your involvement. That's
Well,
so fun.
while we were on there, I looked up the history of how many people they'd brought to the event.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, if they've got 24 on their team, why did we only have 12? I was ready to ask her the question. And now it's a contest. I think that is just terrific.
That is so fun.
Their team is very enthusiastic when they come, and now I can see why.
Very cool. Hey, all right. We have Crystal from the Total Patient Service team waiting in the wings. And let's just bring Crystal in. I every week ask the TOPS team, where are they going to be and who from the team wants to participate in the live stream. And Crystal was very enthusiastic to jump in and be on the show today. And I'm grateful to have you. Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Well, hello. I'm great. Great to see you, Stuart and Greg, again.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been 2 whole weeks.
Yeah, we were just
I
together. I love our TOPS team. They are out and about in all of our Crown Council offices, serving and creating systems. And Crystal had something different this week, which is very fun, very new. And Joey from our office actually just got on a plane to join you.
Yeah.
So Crystal, do you want to talk a little bit? You know what's probably best, Crystal? Would you introduce yourself? I don't think we've ever had you on the show.
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
Happy to do it. So my name's Crystal, and I'm going to age myself here in a second, but I've been in dentistry for a very long time, over 24 years. I know I'm not supposed to say that polite.
She started when she was 12.
Yes. Thank you, Greg. And I'm a dental hygienist by trade, and left clinical practice, and a long time ago went into coaching and helping teams all across the country do what Total Patient Service does. And I have clients all over the country. And fun fact that I want to share is I love Becky. She is just amazing.
That's right.
She is just top notch, and I adore her and Joe. And I've had the pleasure of being in their practices and seeing their son-in-law, Dr. Whiting. And fun fact, the McIntyres, I tell you, dentistry is in their DNA. And so many family members, they have a son, David McIntyre, who is a dentist, and his sweet wife, Mandy, they have a practice just south of Austin in Kyle, Texas. And I'm their coach. So
Nice.
I was with them yesterday and the day before. So as soon as I wrapped up my wonderful visit with Dr. McIntyre and his team, hopped on a plane and came to Dallas and ready for the kickoff of our new 2024
Wow.
Top Hygiene Seminar. So
We
we're
didn't even plan that. It's just special
I
coincidence.
know. I was so excited when I saw Becky on the agenda. I had to text David and Mandy was like, I'm so excited. I get to see your mom virtually.
So fun. I don't know if it's true or not, but Becky had when I asked Becky to do this, she's like, I have never done anything like this. She's like, so here goes nothing. And she did awesome. Usually
She
they
did.
really struggle to get online. And anyway, she did great.
Yeah, not Becky. She's got it on
Not
lock.
Becky.
Yep, she's got it.
Very cool.
So,
Crystal, you had a fun idea of something to present today and share with us. I don't know if you need me to navigate anywhere on the web. I'm ready to help in any way, but
Oh, no, it's great. So, all the information that I'm about to share can be found on our website, our Total Patient Service Institute website. Click under our seminars, and you'll see everything there. Go to No More Hygiene, and it's all there, easily accessible. But what I'm excited to share with everyone is the launch of our brand new 2024 Total Patient Service Hygiene Seminar.
nice.
Everyone has familiarity with our No More Hygiene, and we're launching a change to it in 2024 that is very exciting, and can't wait to kick it off tomorrow.
What's the change, Crystal? Can you talk? I mean, because a
Yeah.
lot of people have been to the course before. So can you talk about the change?
Absolutely. So we're building on what everybody is used to. So what I can tell you is what we're kicking off tomorrow is all the information is very congruent with everything that we have taught before in all of our previous seminars. But what we've done is we took a hard look at everything and decided to revamp it and make it streamlined and simplified to where it is applicable to every office across the country at any time. You can attend this seminar, get real practical tools and resources that we're going to give you, take everything back home, and the very next day, implement successful systems for treating periodontal disease. With
Very-
what you have right now in your office, you're ready to go, and we show you how to do it.
If someone has no idea what you're talking about, which there might be, the phrase "no more hygiene" is a bit of a.
Gonna close the hygiene department.
Could you,
Right.
for those who are new to this phrase, can you talk about a little bit about what's going to happen and what that phrase is all about?
Sure.
Okay.
It's elevating our practice and rewriting our own narrative for what we actually do as dental professionals. We have taken the science. We know the science. We're all educated on it. We're going to review the science, but really what we're going to do is take that knowledge and put it into applicable skills that treat infection. And that's when we say no more hygiene, because it's not about just a cleaning, right? I'm a hygienist, been a hygienist for decades, and really taking the cleaning, because what you're really doing is treating disease. So let's
Mhm.
take it out of
Nice.
the mindset of cleaning to actually therapy and addressing an infection for what it is and healing the mouth, because we know, based what the science tells us, what's happening in our mouths has serious implications for the rest of our body and the health of other systems. So that's what we mean by no more
No more
hygiene.
hygiene. I love that.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
was even, with some calls with Steve, and I know that he'll probably talk about it tomorrow about how dentistry really is the front lines of healthcare when
Right.
it comes to seeing people repeatedly throughout the year. There's very few or medical professionals who are actually seeing people on a regular basis in a way that could really make a difference for health. And I love the transition that Crown Council members are making to being a healthcare provider, actually changing habits and curing disease rather than like what you just said, just doing a cleaning and then check you next time when there's an emergency and something's really wrong.
Right.
I love that. I love that the standard of healthcare is being lifted by this group, that we are helping and treating and not just treating teeth, treating people. and their actual buy. So very cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Gregor,
you said it perfectly. Mhm.
Gregor, what questions you got about No More Hygiene?
Well, the interesting part about this is I've kind of been through it from the patient side, you
Mhm.
know, and I had a little test done that determined what kind of bacteria I had in my mouth, and I
Mhm.
got the little test back, and there were a bunch of these little red dots. And
Mhm.
so I said to Dr. Tyre, who's my dentist, what do these red dots mean? And he said it means that we have some bacteria that are running around in your mouth that we got to worry about that could be affecting your total health. And I mean, I'm a good brusher and I'm a good flosser,
Mhm.
and I feel like I do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And to find out that even doing that, that there were still some undiagnosed issues was a surprise to me as a patient.
Yeah, I bet it
And
was.
so, you know, from a patient standpoint and somebody who is worried about their overall health, my primary care physician isn't doing that.
Mm-mm.
No.
And if he did, he'd find some pill for me to take rather than try and fix it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't
Right.
say that.
Did Dr. Tyre use the microscope, Greg?
No, he just sent me the test back,
Okay.
and we've got some new testing. I think that they're going to introduce. That's just it had some other interesting things on there that I was surprised they were testing for at the same time. But the testing is so sophisticated
It is.
that it allows the dentist to really diagnose not only what the problem is, but how to treat it.
Right.
And I was amazed. So anyway, I am all in on No More Hygiene as a
Wonderful.
patient.
That's good.
In the
Yeah.
practice, I can also see how it makes better happy paying patients because they will talk about this. They will talk about what happened when they got treated differently
Right.
and that their holistic body was being treated, and as you said, not just getting a cleaning.
Right, right. It's not just from the neck up, it's our whole
Yeah.
body. And it's very simple. Like the test you're talking about is a salivary sample, taking a sample of your saliva, sending it out, and we get a report back that says, this is the current condition of the pathogens that are in your mouth. And guess what? We know what works to eliminate them. So this is the protocol. And that's
Yeah.
what we deliver during our seminar is the real world practical implementation skills to where you know exactly when you see X, Y, and Z, you know what to do, A, B, and C. And to have the conversations with the patient to where they understand exactly what we're talking about.
Well, and there's a marker. So then you go back and then they retest you and you go, hey, it worked.
It worked. Right. Right. Yeah.
And I don't have, you know, I mean, I don't think we think when we wake up in the morning, you don't think about low grade infection.
No.
Well, I mean, some people have bad infection, but in my
Yeah.
case, it was a low grade infection.
Yeah.
You don't think about that. You don't
Well,
think
and
about,
the level of infection, in our mouths is, it was it's not the patient's fault, right? And that's what science has taught us. Back in the 1950s, the current model was, you need to brush and floss better. You have, bleeding gums because you're not brushing and flossing better. Well, we've learned in the 1980s, like, wait a minute, there's a connection between this bacteria causing these problems, even in our best brushers and flossers. And then the science evolved where, wait, just because you have gingivitis doesn't mean you have periodontal disease. So what's the difference? Then it came with understanding the specific bacteria and what they do and how they colonize in your mouth. And it can be one area, multiple areas, but understanding the difference means that you have to understand how to treat the different types. And not everybody is susceptible to periodontal disease in the same way. We know that certain populations are more susceptible. Women get bone loss faster than men. And periodontal disease is the #1 cause of tooth loss in adults over the age of 45. 45.
and I forget the number, but I mean, it's like 75% of us have some periodont. Is that number
At
close?
least 80%. Right.
80%?
Right.
Wow.
So
I
we
mean,
have a
wow.
responsibility, right? And due diligence to treat our patients. Every member of our teams are a part of that circle of care for that patient. And every person needs to be aware of the technology, aware of the protocols, because we all need to be speaking the same language and explaining the same thing to the patients. And that's what we teach you. When you come to a Total Patient Service Institute seminar, that's what we deliver. We deliver the skills you need to take care of your patients and to deliver on your promise.
So you're not just teaching them to tell a patient to do better.
No,
Do better
no,
flossing.
no,
Do-
yeah.
You gotta
We're not
brush
in the blame
better.
game
You
here.
gotta do better. And
No,
then come on
no.
back in 6 months and we'll see if you did better.
Yeah, it's you have this in your mouth, and guess what? I'm here to help you treat it. This is what we're going to do. This is how you and I are going to partner. And then you do your part, I'm going to do my part, and then we're going to get the great results we want.
You're great.
love it.
Awesome. This is awesome.
Thanks, Crystal.
What we
Yeah.
need is to have Crystal back next week, and then
Yeah.
she can tell us how the seminar went.
Let's do
Happy
it.
to do it. You got
Happy
it.
to do it. I know that
Happy to do
Happy to do it.
everyone's happy to do it. I love being happy to do it. Very good. Hey,
Yeah.
Crystal, thank you so much for joining. Good luck. You're going to do great. You don't need luck.
I'm so
good job.
excited. I can't wait. Can't wait
Okay.
to deliver.
All right. Well, let's connect soon and hear all about it.
You got it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It was nice seeing you
Alrighty.
both.
Thanks,
Mhm.
Crystal.
You got it.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. Very good.
I
Okay.
wish I had my test here. I'd hold it up and
Well, it is an
Good.
interesting changing part of dentistry, being able to actually treat. And when you listen to some of the scientific research of, and I'm sure everybody, I'm not a dentist, I'm sure everybody watching knows these things, but the cascade effect of having infection in your mouth, from cardiovascular disease to reproductive care health, it is a huge problem to slowly be swallowing infection all day into your stomach. That, you would never walk around with a big open infection on your arm. No one would ever think that that is acceptable, but walking around with bloody, untreated gums seems to be a thing that people are like, you know what?
that's okay. We'll just watch it.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, they're linking it to so many diseases. And because dentists have the opportunity to really treat and care for these diseases, I mean, it is a great responsibility and opportunity to provide that healthcare to patients. So very good. All right, I've got one more little video interview. I wish I could have had him on live, but our doctors, they're busy. This is a tricky time of day to be on. So I met with Tulio last night, one of my young dentists for the last 2 years, and I'll introduce him a little bit, but I'm just blown away by his attitude, and you'll learn why, because a little bit of his background of why he's become a dentist. But his story is certainly worth sharing. It strengthens our community and who we are. And just knowing this doctor makes us better. So I'm going to share my screen. And here's my little recorded video. Can you see us there?
I can see you. You're home.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to push play. A little 12-minute video, and then we'll be done for the day. All right. Hey, welcome to the live stream. This is our interview recording. So grateful to be together. I'm at home, which is kind of a different change for me. Not a huge deal, but that's kind of why my surroundings are a little different. But we were just together at the annual event. Dr. Olivardo, did I say that right? I always am nervous I'm going to say your last name wrong.
Alvarado.
Dr. Alvarado.
Yes, sir.
Working for our good friends at Rodeo Dental, and we got to spend the last 2 young dentist programs together, which has been so cool to get to know you and be together. And I want to share your journey, your story with the rest of Crown Council, and just I don't know, just chat or casual, just pretend like no one else is even watching. We're just going to share your story. So first of all, when did your day end today for work? Are you still at the office?
I'm not. The day ended at well, first, let me preface my comments by saying thanks Crown Council to reaching out. Had a great time at the event. I hope everyone did as well. So I'm really grateful for you. I'm really grateful for that. My day ended at 6:30 p.m. today.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. We were just talking about where the office is, and But before we get into that, you want to tell your story then? Let's hear about a little bit about your background, where you grew up and how you got into dentistry. Is that okay?
Sure,
Okay, let's
sure.
do it.
So I was born in Mexico in a city called Nuevo Laredo. It's a border town. The border town is Laredo. So the American side is Laredo, Texas. I was born there, born in Mexico, spent the first 5 years there. After that, came to the U.S. To start school in the U.S. I am the first person in my family to go to college. So that would make me the first person in my family to go to dental school. I chose dentistry because I went to Magnet High School in Laredo, Alexander High School. It was a magnet for health and science. And as part of my rotations was a visit to a private dental office. And when I first went there, I, I, that's when I first believed that I could have it all. I said, man, I could help so much here directly, effectively, in a way that I want to. And kind of growing up, I saw how there was such a need in Laredo based on where we come from, based on our socioeconomic status. And I said, man, if I could really make this happen, I could make a difference here.
And how did you make, I mean, I'm really interested in how you made it happen. I mean, when you started on your journey, are you doing this alone? Did you have a mentor? How did you pull it all together?
So I would say one of my biggest mentors was Dr. Jose Gonzalez. He's a private practice owner in Laredo. I met him in my Alexander Magnet High School rotation. That was the office that I first went to when I fell in love with dentistry. Um, I saw I saw his passion, I saw his commitment, I saw just the way he treated and spoke to patients and how they treated and spoke to him. And I said, oh man, this is I had gone on several rotations before and they just didn't work for me the way dentistry did. I feel like dentistry is such a privileged position to be in, to be able to help directly, effectively, all kinds of families, and also try to push the envelope with new dental technology. So I said, man, this is really to me the epicenter of the healthcare field.
And from your experience so far, is it what you would hope for? Is it I mean, is dentistry as special as you believed?
Absolutely, 100%, more so than I could ever imagine. Um, I've I've fulfilled my heart in ways that I never thought I could. When I first started practicing, I started at a community health center, and then I would volunteer at a battered women's shelter, and so that really put a light on the difference that I was making. I really felt like that's where that's where I belong. That's where I needed to be, and that's what my got my career started off in such a delightful and bright way.
Yeah. And you work for Rodeo Dental now, one of the practices for Rodeo Dental. Can you talk about that experience, how you chose that, and what it's like working for Rodeo?
So I chose Rodeo based on the reputation that they had in Laredo. There's other companies here in town, but from what I know, Rodeo's reputation was really just a cut above the rest. And after meeting with the owners, meeting with the local docs, and interviewing, I got to see some of that, and I said, you know what, this is they talk the talk and walk the walk here, and so I applied and I had to wait my turn, but finally got in, and so it's been a blast ever since.
Very cool. Yeah, it was so fun to see your team at the annual event, last week in Austin. But we've associated a few times at the Young Dentist program. When it comes to your personal philosophy, your personal goals or mantra in your own personal life, what are you working towards? What are you is rodeo where you want to be? Are you working on CE right now? Do you hope? I mean, where are you going? What are your goals?
So rodeo is definitely somewhere where I want to be. I think they lead in Laredo and they continue to lead in Laredo in the right way, putting patients first. And so through rodeo, I've been able to learn that new technologies and new methods of doing things can be much more effective in treating our patient population in Laredo, especially the type of population that we have here. So I think that's just to me more of the same. Somewhere where the need is great, somewhere where the need is great, and somewhere where my heart is filled once again.
Nice.
Yeah,
Can you talk about your experience with Young Dentist program?
absolutely. I first heard about it from you at another annual event. I was very interested. Um, I saw the protocol, I saw the program, the curriculum, things like that, and I said, yeah, I want to do this. I want to do this. Um, my experience there was 10 out of 10. Meeting you, meeting Dr. David Hornbrook, meeting the other young dentists, the program really puts you in a position to succeed. It really surrounds you with the tools and the resources and the people that you need to move forward in your career. So ever since the Young Dentist program, I've been actively, and very, how should I say this? Very steadily pursuing other avenues, other passions, and it's just grown for me. The dentistry has grown for me. It's all dentistry really, and I'm starting to find out that I enjoy all these aspects of dentistry.
Very cool. If you were to go back in time and give advice to yourself or to a young dentist who's just starting out, what have you learned that you would share with somebody that's just starting out in dentistry?
That's a great question. I would actually reference Dr. David Hornbrook from the Young Dentist program. He said something that moved me. He said, find your passion as fast as you can. And then when you find it, slow down.
Hmm.
So I would, if I was talking to my younger self, I would say, find your passion as fast as you can. Dive into everything that you can. The dive into dentistry. Dive into your patients. Know more about them. Surround yourself with people that could help you do that. And so I would say to all the young dentists, this program is amazing. Dr. David Hornbrook is amazing. He's not shy about sharing his experiences with you, and he has such a passion for the young dentist program that um, I think if you join this program, you'll really know the difference. You'll really know yourself more.
I love that. Tulio, you are the man. I wish we could work together. So I just love your passion, your attitude. Just being around you is the best, man. You're awesome.
I appreciate that, Stu. Yeah, ever since we met, I was like, Crown Council and the people that run it they're doing great things. They do great things. They continue to do great things, and I look forward to working with you more.
Yeah, man. It's fun to hear your story and just to see your passion. Guys like you, doctors like you, I love that you're drawn to Crown Council. We don't have to go and like find you. You are drawn to the people and to the things that are being experienced here. And I'm just grateful you'd share. And man, hopefully we have a long future ahead. And you're going to be the next David Hornbrook, man, teaching the Young Dentist program. So let's do it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I'm looking forward to our endeavors.
Cool. All right, man. Thanks for your time. Have a good night. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, Stu. Have a great night. Thank you.
Okay, brother. See ya.
Wow, that's a special guy.
Isn't he awesome? You know, before we started recording, he was talking about his day, you know, and he serves the children of his city. And if you zoom in on the map where he lives, the city is split. So it's half in Mexico, half in the United States. And, you know, his entire town is probably people he knows, people he grew up with. And so for him to be making a true difference in the lives of those young kids and the patients that he serves, it's inspiring for him. You know, he had an incredible day. To ask him about what his day was like, it's like everything he dreamed he would do as a dental professional. So it was fun.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Rodeo Dental, I mean, has a kind of a sweet spot in the pediatric world. So I'm sure dealing with kids all day is very fulfilling for him.
Yeah. All right, Gregor, that's it for today. Crown Council Live. Thanks for joining us.
Good
Thanks for
show.
thanks for hearing a few of the stories from around the Crown Council. We'll be back next week with more. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Stu. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.